today we are going to look at the metric system, and we actually are the only country that doesn't use the metric system, which is kind of crazy. So we're going to be looking at this. The metric system is super easy compared to our feet and our inches and our centimeters. So our feet and our inches, not centimeters. Okay, so first we have to understand what they are. So there's three types: length, capacity, and mass. Mass would be like what you weigh, like we weigh in pounds. Capacity would be like a 2-liter, or how much can fit into a pool, like gallons, things like that. And length is what you would think, like how tall you are, how distance between two places, those kind of things. So there are all these different types. So first we're going to figure out what they are. So a millimeter is really, really little. A millimeter is super duper tiny, and we would say it's something like you can measure the thickness of a dime with that. You could measure thickness of your fingernail. Something really, 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 really little is what you're going to do a millimeter with. A centimeter would be like the length of an eraser. It could also be something like the length of an action figure, things like that. It's not super long, but they're easier to work with. A meter is going to be like a meter stick. Think about a meter stick. It's very similar to a yardstick. So think about a meter stick. It would be like to measure the height of a door. It could also be just to measure a person's height. And a kilometer is like distance running. So like it's a little more than half a mile. So a little more than half a mile. So in other countries, they don't run miles, they run kilometers. And that's a little bit more. So if we're talking about like the distance from Lexington to Nashville, we're going to talk about kilometers. All right, milliliters is little. It's probably like milliliters are, you know, when you're little and you get medicine and they put it in that little syringe and that's milliliters. It's really, really little. So it's about 5 drops of water. And a liter you all have seen, so you know 2 liters at the store, but we typically, a liter is half of a 2 liter. So think about a 2 liter of Sprite, split it in half, and that's a liter. All right, milligrams are what we weigh in. That's what we weigh. Milligrams and grams don't really happen very often. A milligram would be like a speck of sawdust. So think about the dust that comes off of wood after you cut it. That's how much a milligram is, just a little speck of sawdust. A gram would be like a paperclip, the weight of a paperclip. And a kilogram is typically what you're going to be measured in, like if you were going to get weighed, we do pounds, they do kilograms. And it would be like half of your mouth. Alright, so I'm going to pause the video, and I want you to do those 2 sections, not the chart at the bottom, but those 2 sections right there underneath this chart. So you should be pausing it. Pause the video and do those 2 sections. You're choosing the appropriate metric unit, and then which one would be the most reasonable. And then when you have it, just press play and you can see if you got it right. Alright, so hopefully these are the answers you got. An appropriate metric unit for the length of a broom, think about your mom or dad or grandma sweeping in the kitchen, you would measure that with a meter stick. Your other options, centimeters, no. Kilometer, no broom is going to be close to a half a mile. Centimeters, too little. Millimeters are way too little. Mass of a horse, well, it's definitely bigger than a paperclip, significantly, and half of your mass one, but you definitely want to measure in kilograms. So choose which one would make the most reasonable estimate. So distance between two cities, millimeters or kilometers? Well, millimeters can measure the thickness of a dime. Kilometers is a little more than half a mile. So definitely kilometers. Amount of liquid that an eyedropper holds. Well, I hope you have no eyedropper that holds 10 liters, because that would be crazy. That would be a lot. All right, so we are going to look at this chart and how we go from one to the other. So we call meter, liter, and gram kind of the unit. That's where you're going to start. That's where you're going to start. And then we go to deca, hecto, kilo, and then deci, centi, milli. We rarely use deci, deca, and hecto. They are there because you're going to have to skip past them when changing, but we rarely use them. So for hecto, we would just say hectometer. That's the abbreviation. For deca, DAM. For meter, we just do 1 meter. For deci, DM. For centimeter, hopefully you know, and millimeter, hopefully. All right, I'm going to have you fill in the rest with their abbreviations. Just press pause and fill in the rest of those, and when you press play, see if you got it right. All right, you will notice that the liters is always capitalized. Liters you always want to have capitalized. So those are just how you're going to abbreviate it. If you want to change it to hecto, you're going to write HM. If you're going to change it to hectogram, you're going to write HG. Those are just abbreviations. Just like for feet, we write FT. For inches, we write IN. That's what this concept is talking about. All right, so let's flip to the back. This is where the fun stuff happens. Our system is super hard to convert back and forth. The metric system is super easy. So first, you want to locate the 2 units being used. So if we're going from deci to kilo, you want to identify them. So I identified deci to kilo, that kind of thing. And you're always going to start with the one they give you first. All right, so once you've located the 2 units, you're going to have to decide between multiply or divide. You're going to have to decide between multiplying and dividing. Now, if you think number sense and you think rationally about it, it should make sense. So you are going to multiply. If you are going from a larger unit, so if you're going from kilograms to millimeters, or kilograms to milligrams, there is going to be a lot of little milligrams in a lot of kilograms. Kilograms are bigger, but when we break it down, there's going to be a lot of milligrams. Think about those stacking people that fit inside of each other. The big one looks all alone, but then when you start to multiply it, all these little ones come out. So if you're going from large to small, you're going to multiply. If you're going from small to large, you're going to divide. So if you start with the little guy, it ends up just being one big guy. So you're basically taking your little guy and making it a bigger guy. That's why you're going to divide. And if you don't like the multiplying and dividing, you can easily just move the decimal. For every unit, that is an additional power of 10. So that tells you what you're going to multiply. So, if you're going from kilo to hecto, that's times 10. From hecto to deca, that's another times 10. From deca to the unit, times 10. And all the way across. You're multiplying by 10. And that's moving from large to small. Now, if you go the other way, you're actually dividing. Divide by 10, 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 divide by 10. So large, large to small, multiply, small to large, divide. You don't have to draw that. I'm going to show it. All right, let's do some of these. So step 1, locate the 2 units being used. So in this situation, and I always like circle it, but if you don't want to have all those circles, you can figure out a different way. So we're going from liters, we're starting here, to milliliters. Everybody with me? Because it says liters. I want to change liters to milliliters. So if I want to do that, I'm doing times 10, times 10, times 10. So 3 tens make 1,000, hopefully. So, and we're going from small, or large to small. So we're multiplying by 10. So we're multiplying by 1,000. We're going liters to milliliters. That's your first step to identify. Your second step is to determine multiply or divide. Well, we've already decided we're multiplying from here to here. So we know we're going to do 4 39/100ths times 1,000 because it was 3 skips. So 1, 2, 3, 3 zeros. That's 1,000. Now, there's 2 ways you can do this. You can actually sit there and multiply it out, or you can just move the decimal. So 1, 2, 3, you need to move it 1, 2, 3. So the answer is 4,390 milliliters. So if you have 4 39/100ths liters, you have 4,390 milliliters. And you can totally, if you want to multiply it out, you totally can. If this part does not make sense, you can totally just multiply it. That's totally okay. All right, let's try the next one. Centimeters to meters. So we're going centimeters to meters. And you always want to start with what's first. So in this situation, it's centimeters. So centimeters to meters. So we're going centi to meters. So we're going 1, 2. And hopefully you notice this is actually division because we're going from small to large. So small to large, and we're going 2. So that's 100. So 914, and it's division, because you're going this way, centi to meters, that's 1, 2. So divide by 100. Now, you can sit there and multiply it out, or you can totally do the decimal thing. You know the decimals here. You're going 1, 2. Because there's 2 zeros. But you're getting smaller, so you want to move to the left, just the way it did up here. That kind of tells you which way to move. So, you have 9 14/100ths meters. Remember, you can pause this, you can go back, you can go forward. All right, the next one. This one's a little bit tricky. We're going grams to kilograms. Whoops, see, I made a mistake. You always want to write what's first. So grams to kilograms. Grams to kilograms. Now, the hard part about this is you're really taking kilograms and going to grams because you know the kilograms. So you actually want to write what you know. Sorry. So you want to write what you know. So we know kilograms, and we need to take kilograms to grams. Write what you know. So in this situation, we need centimeters. In this situation, we need liters. In this situation, we know kilograms. You don't have to draw all of those arrows. I'm just doing it to make it fun. Okay, so we're going from kilo to gram. So 1, 2, 3. And if you notice, it's multiplying. 1, 2, 3. So that's 1,000. So we're taking 220 times 1,000. Now, you can multiply it out, or you can just move the decimal. So I need to move the decimal, which is right here, 3 times this way. Because if you notice, I moved my marker this way. So 1, 2, 3. So 220,000 grams. want you to do 2 at the bottom of your paper. Those are the 2 we're going to check tomorrow. Try your best. Look back at those examples. Feel free to pause. So you just have to do 2. I want you to do 54 meters equals blank centimeters. That's 1. And your second problem is going to be blank milliliters equals 7.3 liters. Do your 3 steps. Step 1, step 2, step 3. Follow the 3 steps. 1, 2, 3. Rewatch this video as many times as you need. We will be practicing this like crazy tomorrow. Feel free to rewatch it.